Come, Chefy. Come, Chefy, Chef. Come. Come, Chefy, Chef. Come on the table. Hello, how are you? I only can be you. I'm just waiting a few minutes to see how many people will actually be around. Hi, Cha. Hi, Chevy. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Oh, look at that, Chevy. Hi, Destination Dairy. How are you? Now she sat right in front of the chat, so I cannot see it. So I guess she has to read it. Hi, JC. Hi, Lydia. Hi, Germany. Guys, tell me your signs as well. I want to know what signs do I have here. Can you please, sweetie, move your furry butt? Yes, thank you. Good morning, Donna, Katerina. Hey, thanks. I need Aquarius energy. Aquarius, Aries, Taurus, Scorpio. Hi, Ellie, Donna, Jill. Saggy. Hi, Wonder Woman, Aquarius. Hi, Mississippi Queen, Sag. Pisces, Capricorn, Elizabeth. Hi, Cancer. Scorpio. No wonder you're calling yourself Wonder Woman. Hi, Kim. How are you, sweetie? That's Pisces, I know. Lydia, Gemini. Oh my gosh, we have everything. Cancer. It looks like I have lots of feeling signs over here. And also Aquarius, of course. It takes one to know one. So guys, what I'm doing here today, I'll be doing the reading for all of us here. I'm using this deck, recently published. It's called Vice Versa. It doesn't have a back. It has just a different perspective on a card on the other side. I can show you all the cards if you're interested, or I can just kind of do the reading for all of us. It's kind of really interesting take because it's very like opposite cards, but it's just kind of giving the full scope of a meaning, right? So you can see two people really enjoying their love in 10 of Cups. And here, hi Barbie, here you can see maybe this love is somewhere to be achieved. You're kind of striving through it, because I believe this is the One of Cups card that they have there. So I will have to put somebody, okay, so I can do that. I can do that for you guys to run you through the deck. So let me just divide it into the categories. So maybe I can give you a quick tarot school as well when we are here. Anybody interested in kind of being schooled a little bit on tarot? A freebie? These are kind of interesting cards. Trust me, mine are going to be even better. But I have to say, and this is the same lady who does my Mystical Cats tarot. I just love her, right? Okay, so I was not prepared for school, but I do have teaching background, and I should be okay. And this is my problem with this. So many people have schools and they shouldn't be having schools, and now I am doing this half-baked. But anyway, let's do it. And let's do it. Let me just divide it, and I can show you the entire deck in that respect. Deck is really interesting, really, because I did kind of like do something that is called initiation, and with initiation I kind of have to ask the deck to how are you liking me? How will we get along? And this deck said that in emotional issues is going to be a really good fit. So that's what's going to be primarily deck 4. So let me see. Thank you guys. I put Kim, you as a moderator, so maybe you can type back to people while I'm doing this. I'm going to put few other people. I'll put Yvonne as a moderator, so please guys try to help and interact with others. while I'm doing all of that. Oh my gosh, look at how many Aquarians I have here. So I guess it's going to be awesome, awesome energy. So I had a really interesting Aquarius this morning on my reading, telling me to F off and to shut up. So I was like, whoa. So this is why we Aqua get a bad name to do that. But you know, some Aquarians really need lots of love. Hey Elizabeth, you're reading for about 40 years. Can I put you as a moderator? Would you mind helping me, Elizabeth? That you can maybe interact with my crowd. Hi Chrissy, I'm definitely putting you as a moderator as well to help around. I don't even know how many I can put on. Let me see if I can. I can. There we go. Now, it would be cool that you guys also tell me what are you thinking both about the cards and about the school. I'm generally not one of these people who will write reviews. And when I do, I write review for something that I really, really love. So this woman got my raving review, and I have to say that I'm expecting right now that I'm going to get one of those leave me alone, because I did get cold shoulder when I kind of contacted her initially about that mystical tarot. She never got back to me, but I guess people are busy as well, and she's an artist, so I just think it's always good to give thanks, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody. So let's see. I'm so sorry for being so slow, and I'm so glad you cannot see me, because I woke up, my hair is all over the place, and this is like a wonderful thing that you can actually start doing a job without makeup, without anything. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. So I'm not going to do the entire tarot, but I'm going to give you today a review of the cards, and I'm going to give you possibly a major arcana. How's that? Okay, so let me organize them in order. Now when I have them, it will be 1, 8, 10, 20, 14, 18, 14, 11, 16, 6, 12, 9, where was 10 here? 10, 8, 19, 3, 4. I would recommend buying this deck, and I you know that I actually sell only my stuff, and I don't recommend anybody. As I said, I didn't get any contact from this woman, but it's cool. My deck is going to have even actually more of these meanings, but I do have to tell you that this can also confuse you very much as well, because it does give you a lot, and it's also very intricate in its explanation of the cards. All right, so look at that. I'm getting there. And please feel free to ask any questions. I'll be sort of going about it a teacher kind of way, going through the cards, but let's do it. Hi, Amps. Safi was here initially. So for those of you, and then I put few people to be moderator. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Yes, I'm organizing the cards because they have 2 parts. So I just want to put them, quote unquote, the right way. And then give you, and Elizabeth, since you're reading the cards, please jump in if you have additional information, because tarot is extremely vast. I mean, I started doing this when I was like 15 with my girlfriend, and I'm still doing it at like 43. So this is kind of like a tool that can really propel you, but you have to keep accumulating other knowledges. You have to keep accumulating knowledge of Kabbalah, knowledge of biblical studies, of Christianity, of Egyptian, of mythology. So it's not as easy. All right, guys, part of this, and even teaching of Kabbalah, is based on something that is called Tree of Life. Hi, Heidi. And Tree of Life basically talks about the path. So we all, as Aquarians, because there are many Aquarians here, I was just going to answer this question. My favorite card is the Star. Absolutely the favorite card. And this is my path in life. It's kind of like really communicating with the other people, and of course it is Aquarian card. But I have love with the other cards as well. And so I will explain. So, the wrench figure, Chrissy, means that I have placed you to be a moderator. Means you can kick other people out. Hi, Dubrovka. You can reprimand them, but I really never have that issue. In my crowd, like everybody here is like so nice. I'm like such a happy camper, basically. So it just like gives you ability to be me while I'm doing this. Yes, Kim. So let's not go into every little detail, because you can tell as a teacher I try to prepare my notes. I am not prepared today. So I'm going to just give you a story. The Fool is basically God. And this is represented with the air sign. Air signs are sort of the highest from all the suits. Then you have the fire signs. Then you have the earth signs. And then you have the water signs. This doesn't mean one is more important than the others. It is sort of like talking about the speed more than anything else. So air signs generally spend time in their head, right? And this Fool is basically God who descended, who came to this planet from whatever universe, from every kind of like other kind of like possibilities that we have out there. Most of us do come from different planets. We are just biological product of our parents, but the soul comes from elsewhere. And that is kind of like surprise for the black sheep in the family, or why is my child not like me? That's the explanation. So usually these cards are represented with a whole bunch of mist, or the sun being born. This is why he has a small baggage, because you know when you travel with rockets, you cannot take lots of luggage with yourself. So hence this is what's happening. And he is like on the edge of a cliff. And this tarot is a mixture of a new vision and I don't know, like, I mean, I have this new vision tarot here as well. And I think after tarot is sort of like a mix, but the pictures are much better. So this Fool, which we call Fool, but you know, in the court kind of like cases, the Fool was always somebody who tells the truth. And this is like very, very important for all air signs. We kind of like are seeking the truth. Sometimes we don't want to face the truth ourselves. So see, the end of this card is basically showing that while here is the sun rising, here there is a setting star. So Fool can make any wish. So you see the doggy, that we generally always talk about, oh, the dog is so nice and loyalty, etc., etc. No, dog in this particular card means, and you see his basically flower that kind of talks about freedom and willingness to be freedom. It's sort of like falling apart because he's going to meet basically human way of life. And that's not going to really excite him very much. Also, I don't know if you can see the foot is just about to jump off the cliff. Now, he really believes he can do that. He is still not aware that, oh my gosh, I'm going to splatter myself. This is a 3D and I cannot do that, because as a god, he thinks he can do anything. So this is kind of first and foremost stage. He just arrived to this planet. Now, moderators, please tell everybody that this is just basically a tarot school today. The second one is the Magician. So Fool now falls off this cliff, right? And manages to hold onto a cliff. So Fool always talks about, hey, you know, some kind of good things will be happening when you kind of keep going. So you will be extraordinary, kind of lucky. And if Fool is reversed, or is in this situation, it says, well, you can wish all you want, but you know, certain things are existing here and you're going to splatter yourself, so don't be foolish. So that's why these are just like two basic meanings of the Fool. So then the Fool comes to the Magician. So who is the Magician? Magician is saying, and I can actually even get I can get the book if you want, because I actually got got the entire kit. And actually, this is another thing that really impressed me about it. And I do suggest you getting the entire kit, because she actually did pack down the philosophy very, very well in this. So let's go without it. Let's go with my knowledge. The magician is somebody who basically has this as above, so below. So he can create any magic that he wants. So Fool first has to learn the ways of this planet. What we have on this planet. We have, look at this. This is the shooting star, right? This is like where he is coming into, right? Now, he has the pentacles, he has wands, and look, this is not possible to have the wand burning on the two sides, and it's kind of like the downward kind of like constellation. So he has all four elements. He can create wherever he wants. He is basically teaching Fool about the ways of this life, and he's saying the highest is air. The possibilities are endless that you want to have. Then you have the fire, then you have the pentacles, and then you have the cups. Now, this is where is High Allah, where the beauty is. On the bottom, on the other side of magician, which generally would say, because you see here is the night, but here he's still seeing the sun setting. So this is the person who should be living to his highest potential. Remember how I said the Fool is the God descending to this planet, because this is this Kabbalah's tree of life that you see basically painted on his back, and you see this top kind of like circle over here. That would be Fool's position, right? So see, the Fool then comes to the magician, and here is the high priestess, and you come to the Empress, and so on and so forth. For example, Aquarius path is over here. So if you guys are more interested in Kabbalah, it's basically saying, it's really hard to summarize any teaching, that we live in a box, and this box doesn't have exits. Well, actually it does. It has 5 exits. Our eyes, our anus, right? Basically all the openings on our body. And only through them, you can actually find that light. You can kind of find your kind of salvation. So hence, you really have to find the steps how to do it. And tarot actually is what they merged with that tree. Then when he's being told about how to drive the car on this planet, let's say, then he's coming to basically the high priestess. She is the one who is saying, well, you know what? I'm not judging. You can do good or bad. That's when you see this black and white. It always represents duality between good and evil. And she's saying, I don't know if I want to initiate you. You have to have certain knowledge. You have to prove yourself. And we can see that over there. Here she has these keys that she's initiating somebody, where she's allowing somebody into this knowledge, into this world that she has. The high priestess is also the one who she's ruling all the timelines. So this is why people are talking about a high priestess as somebody who can be a psychic, somebody who can be a tarot reader, because you have to go about a timeline and kind of like see what happens. Then maybe I'm going to do 10 cards, because I guess you guys want to get your reading as well. And then maybe next time 10, and so on and so forth. Then we have the Empress. So in tarot, these first 3 cards have no gender. And most readers maybe don't know that this is not meaning a new beginning. This is not meaning a new beginning. And this is not meaning a new beginning. So all zeros, all ones, and all 2s are just preparation stages, where you are learning something, where you have to earn basically your keep. It is only at number 3 that we have a new beginning. And that's right, Camilla, first 3 are completely genderless, because God basically has no gender, and all 3 are some kind of form of gold, God. You know, that's that your famous Trinity that we are talking about. And then you're getting to basically somebody who is ruling this world, and it is a female, not male. So this is the first and foremost principle that goes forward, like femininity, and somebody who can create, somebody who can give birth. So this is the beginning stage. So always when you see 3, things are finally starting to move, right? And look at this Empress. It's kind of really interesting card in the back because it shows this tree, so shows this growth. Hi, Matrix. You want to come and say hi? Huh? You want to say hi? Come on, 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 come on. There we have a Mr. Matrix adding his little fur tail, right? That didn't last, but at least Safi's here too, right? Safi is here as well. Of course, they have to kick everything down, and there we go. You can see me in the shorts. That's kind of so much fun, right? Anyway, sorry guys, let's go back. This is not much of a school. When you are a baby, you have both DNA for genders until one is chosen, and energy is genderless. So, back of the Empress. It's a different explanation in the book, and I think they're saying, look, some growth is happening, because generally when you look at the Empress, you're looking at the motherly principle, a woman who can give birth, but not only to children, but to the ideas, to something new, and somebody who kind of has some star that is kind of guiding you, that she just does want to go forward, right, and higher kind of ideals. But in the back, as you can see, there are kind of like few kind of dead people she's putting behind. She steps on people. She is failing to see the higher picture. And this tree, honestly, to me looks like a nuclear mushroom, like an explosion. So she's kind of watching some complete disaster happening. And yeah, it's still sitting on a throne. So it can be somebody who is clingy, somebody who is really uninvolved, or somebody who creates things that really shouldn't be created, right? And where is the Emperor? The Emperor is now that male counterpart. So no, Adam didn't make an Eve. It would be neither that Eve made an Adam, but like sort of Eve has this first and foremost foot forward. And then there is like stabilization. Okay, so where is my home? What do I eat? What kind of kingdom do I create? Now, the thing about the Emperor over here in this deck, interestingly, that they're showing the stars, but they're also showing that he's sitting on a kind of like very stone throne, right? And this means like it's rigid, right? It's not flexible. You kind of like need to kind of warm it up to an idea, right? And this is exactly what is saying in the reversal. Hey, you need some fire under your butt, right? So this is the first horoscope sign. This is the creation, and this is when we enter into Aries. So Aries is depicted with basically this particular sign. It's saying here, you know what? You need to foster growth. You need to actually see the day. You need to kind of let the light in, because you see the original side is actually having dark over here, and he needs to kind of find how to be the ruler. And now we are getting to religion. So you see, many people live their lives as a religion, but religion is only one of the tickets, and only on the stage, because look at this, God happened, and then all this kind of knowledge happened before somebody decided to organize religion. And this is very much unlike High Priestess. She is teaching people because she kind of wants people to be able to help others. But, the high priest is the one who is saying, my rules, my business, my house, you follow this. We really live in this society. As you can see, you're feeling more and more taste, and this also can be the boss. Oh, what happened? Why am I offline? Why am I offline? Oh. Sorry, it got disconnected. Sorry, everybody. I guess I'm back. So, as you can see, just like in the Magician, over here, we have this wand. Like one student, one pupil is calling a wand, and the other one is trying to obtain this knowledge. And it is like you have to learn my book, right? Where she is saying, you have to prove to me that you have learned to be a better person, not from a book, but from your own actions, who you are. So this is the packaging. So here we're getting in religion. Here we are getting into the packaging. Hi, sorry, Ella. Sorry to see, sorry that you have to go, but look, this is going to be online. You can check it later. So Hierophant, actually, many people missed that, and I don't know, Elizabeth, are you aware of this? I just, honestly, I'm doing this for many years. I just recently noticed this. Didn't even check it in this deck, but maybe I should before I make this point. Yeah, it's not in this deck. In the other decks, you see how he's holding his fingers? In the Ten of Swords, the guy who is broken, who is completely broken, his soul, his spirit is broken, means he has also, he's holding his fingers like that. He's saying, this was the problem. The rules broke me down. So it goes to show that here some of us will go into the structure things. And structure things are good because, for example, when you're dating, it's saying, okay, you know what? I want to date with people who kind of subscribe to the same thing I do. Sometimes you think this is God, but sometimes you think it isn't God. Sometimes you think do not cheat, do not, steal and that kind of stuff. And look at the other side. Other side is saying, look at, he has this pagan goddess and an apple, something fresh, but it's also a temptation. Do not dare to be tempted, right? And yet, there is a child who already has keys to the kingdom. And this is actually just asking not to be that rigid. Asking, as a Hierophant reverse would be quite a few meanings. Either somebody who is overly dogmatic, or somebody who subscribe to prescribed rules, and yet he's making others to follow, yes, Amanda's standards, and who are not necessarily followed by themselves. Here, Amanda, making you an operator, moderator as well. So it is like about kind of like how do we get together. So any child can do it because child intrinsically knows how to go forward. Then the fool that is going on this journey, now the fool learned, well, I have to follow some rules over here. So in the next step, he's meeting this beautiful woman. So I think this is a tree of knowledge and tree of life. And he's really, really tempted with her, right? And can you see that mist that he kind of had by coming down on this planet? So this is where you get into that world of the mysticism. Yes, this is the Lover's card. And so his knowledge just went to flames. He's seeing this woman, hey, I found this woman. I don't care about anything else. And she's tempting and she's loving him. But there is always this temptation in life. Do I really want to stay here? Or is this going to be a full-time solution? Or do I really want to more? And what more I should go? You see, in this particular deck, the angel has the necklace on his heart chakra. Sort of like, what does your heart want, right? And hi, H900. And here, look at that. We have this duality and the symbolism, right, happening. So now both of them are looking in the distance. Both of them are no subject to the other kind of notions, which means sometimes those rules could be good, and means maybe you're not going to make the best solution for yourself. The interesting part here is they actually are wearing masks. You see, in Greek, I believe persona means mask, means that we all kind of present ourselves in a way that we want to present ourselves, and it is only later that we kind of like learn things about us. So the fool at this stage is being told by an angel, look, you can always come back to this beautiful woman. Why don't you go to the mountain and see more things that are out there? I actually plan so much more for you. So this kind of answers why so many times relationships don't work out, because we always seek something new and something different. So Fool goes on further on his journey, and now he is tormented with demons. Have I done the right thing? Oh my gosh, I have loved this woman. He sought her back. He tried to find her, but she was gone in this darkness. And so he goes in this darkness, resolve to find the answers, resolve to come back, because this Chariot card is also the card of, that's right, Amanda. People pretend to be somebody they're not, and then you marry them. It's like, oops, right? So Chariot is unfortunately still dealing with the lesson of black and white thinking, because this is why you have one Sphinx that is like white, one Sphinx that is black. Also, in the other decks, the Chariot doesn't have strings. And Chariot, it should be the star. Oh my gosh, which one is the last one? There are only 3 cards with the stars, but here there are so many more. Basically talk about the connectivity of the higher purpose. Chariot is also ruling all the knights. It talks about this fast energy. It represents Cancer. By the way, this one represents Aries. This one represents Taurus. This one represents Gemini and that duality, kind of like wondering the other stuff. And this represents Cancer. And this kind of like Cancers can move very, very fast, but sometimes, like, things can go in different directions. So it's saying, look, I am kind of leaving this star-studded kind of like path over here and moving forward. Chariot reversed, and you see here you have the Cancer. I have a problem with connection. You kind of like see me over there. And Chariot is kind of like moving forward and kind of like going to meeting his destiny. So imagine the strength. You're on your own. You didn't bring an extra package, but look at that. He has a cup here hidden. He's hoping that he's going to come back to his mate. Then we are getting to Leo. So this is also one of my favorite cards, because this is also the path that I have learned. This is talking about, okay, so now I'm conquering my demons, because I have tamed this huge, enormous beast inside of myself and made it look desirable. I sort of like package it in a way. And this new knowledge that I have is completely infinite. The strength, and it's kind of interesting because the strength is sometimes number 8, and the strength is sometimes number 11 in different decks. It's numerologically can work both ways, but kind of 8 for me works much better than 11. Which card is Ophiuchus? So that would be something between the Death and Temperance. So we really do not have the card that is specifically done for it, but I think the Temperance also would be card just like for Sagittarius. So look at this. This is what it's talking about. Wait a minute, you still have to conquer these bees, because the fight will continue, and sometimes you will feel devastated, and in devastating conditions, when you feel it is really, really hard, you still have to forge forward, and you still have to hope, and you still have to believe. Just 2 more cards, guys, for today. And then we are going to the number 9, which is a Virgo. Mind you, I also connect this with Aquarius a lot. And this also, keep in mind, all of these cards, every single one is a god. It's a manifestation of a god that is now learning a different lesson. Just learn the Leo lesson. Leo is like, I can roar, but I will not chop your head off. In fact, I can rule softly, right? And then you get here and say, okay, it is time for me to kind of figure out things. And what is it I really want? At this point, Fool has enough knowledge. It has enough influences to understand, well, wait a minute. Okay, how do I process this? Because Aquarians have this feeling, and you see there is a snake on a stick, right? It's almost identical. Only thing you have these dogs. Again, the society expectations that you have. And yet, kind of like you see this kind of little kind of whiff of blue. It's that sky. It's that like, what is my higher purpose? So this is talking about Virgos and their ability to introspect and their ability to kind of like be very methodical about it. But this is one of these cards that I really have a completely different opinion. The opinion on this card would be like, this really should belong to also Aquarius, because Aquarians tend to check out from times. That's what they call it, aloof. But we are literally assessing. The more times we reassess ourselves, reflect on ourselves, we can move forward. So this is actually a really good card, Hermit. And many people, and it links to all the other 9s in a deck. When all the other 9s, you're going to see one person in it. So this is telling you, you need to learn this lesson. So many readers will say wrongly, oh, 9 of Pentacles, somebody wants to be single. No, you have to learn how to stand on your own before you become a couple. But it's telling you that if you don't learn this lesson, you will not function well in a couplehood. But it's saying that you can actually do something long term. 9 of Cups, it tells you that you have to learn how to be happy for yourself. 9 of Swords is telling you, come on, don't stop obsessing, stop kind of going with it. It's just kind of like learn how to meditate and decrease your anxiety and so on and so forth, right? And one more card for today, 10. So also in numerology, we can get to the culmination. So this is the karma card, one of my karma cards. It's a culmination of karma. And you can see this is now a little bit of Egyptian philosophy. Here again, we have this beast. But this beast is ruling. And look what is on the other side. This magician that we had here in the very beginning is now realizing, wait a minute, I am God. I can turn this anytime I want. I can create whatever I want. So what is this card saying is that most of us are working on a karmic death between the good and evil. Most of us have life that goes up and down. So the key is to learn how to really go deep inside of ourselves, figure out who we want, and beat our own karma, and jump off our own karmic wheel and be in charge of it. So I hope kind of like this mini intro was interesting. So I'm going to just show you the rest of the cards but not explain them. So this will be the Justice, this will be the Hangman. Hi Jeffy. This will be the Death that I love, because one side is showing this resurrection and a new growth, and the other side is saying, I'm coming here to get you, you have been bad. So Puccius, this is that Saggy card, and I think both of them go underneath that. It's kind of like really intricate, interesting card as well. Look at this, there is still the beast, a part of it which is asking this beast to soar about its lowly instincts. And here we go. Here we have the Devil card. Here you have the Tower card. You see, you're being watched by karma. You kind of like have to figure out, you know, that things are happening and you're not kind of in a world for yourself. You see, and here you have these demons that maybe you didn't deal with when you were supposed to deal with. And there's my favorite card, because in this deck, and the creator of the deck is a Virgo, I think she completely failed on this card. And this is like what I usually really look for in this card. But like, why she failed? Because yes, she is pouring this knowledge into this world. She's saying, wait a minute, all the stuff that I have learned and I have used and abused this in the stages, I have to purify myself. But she completely failed to show her walking on water, because this is the God that can finally walk on water. And you can see here, like, you know, and spur the new growth and almost create a completely new soul, very, very strong soul that comes of it. And look at that shooting star in communication. You can see that in the 8 of Wands as well. But this is the card of an Aquarius. Then we have the Moon. This is the main side, the Moon. It's kind of like, hey, I've seen this beautiful woman. Imagine 2 guys sitting in a bar, one saying, hey, I've seen this beautiful woman coming out of the water. The other one guy says, yeah, right, dude, kind of keep drinking, right? So Moon kind of tells us that we shouldn't believe everything we see. And this is basically a card of deception, but it's also representing Pisces, because they have this duality also swimming both ways. And then we have the Sun. It's kind of interesting because look, here we have the guard behind that. The Sun also goes back to Leo. It goes to marriages. Actually, I think this is the main card. It shows this innocent, but it's showing that to get there, it took a lots of fighting. It took a lots of other people who had to bring you to that particular goal. And then we have Yeah, then we have the Judgment. Have you been good or have you been bad? You're bringing your gifts to the gods, but the only gift you have to bring is that you did soar about your, instincts beyond you willing to take somebody to F off, etc. But you're going to be judged. And this kind of like means that you have to reassess your own life and kind of try to figure out, have you learned the lessons? And if you have, check mark, well done. You're going further. You're going on the top of the things, right? The world is like finished cycle that keeps going. These are usually the 4 signs, and the same 4 signs should be in the karmic wheel, which I did over here at some point. Did she put them here? She forgot to put them. Oh no, she did. Pardon me. She did. There we go. Aquarius, Leo, Sagittarius, Taurus. Okay, so they are all here. The fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, aka Phoenix, and Aquarius are here because these signs are supposed to be guardians and angels of this world and helping others. So hence they're giving a little bit harder lessons because they need to carry more weight. So there you go. Hope guys like this kind of helped a little bit. Hi Anna. He is Virgo. Does he feel same about me? Please guys don't ask me private questions. That's why there is a private reading for this. But what I'm going to do, because it is time for my coffee. It is. Hi Sophie.
No.
Do you love everybody?
No.
How much? How much?
No.
That much? Really? 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 Can you just move over here? Can you move right here? Can you move it here? So let me just get a few cards for all of us and see basically just what kind of week we can have. What do you mean, what is the tool? I cannot drink coffee. My stomach is bothering me so much lately that I can't drink coffee anymore. I'm so upset. And I love my lattes. So my naturopath yesterday I called and she told me go for the dandelion tea. So I bought that. It kind of like tastes like Sequoia. It's not bad. It's not coffee, but I think I'm going to do that for my latte. Oh, hi Sasa, Safi, you share the same birthday. Are you equally inquisitive? That's so cute. Okay, so let's see for everybody online. Just tell me, did you like this lesson? Should I continue with that the next time? Or you would prefer that this, our get together is more or less, hey, let's chat and answer, kind of do the reading. So it will be good to see what you say. Okay, so let's see for everybody watching the reading for them. Reading for them for, let's say, the next week, because I'm here weekly. Hi, Chrissy. Oh, it's pretty bad gastritis. I was like, oh my gosh, this is not something serious. Like, people have really serious problems, but literally last week I was like 4 days in bed because of it. Okay, for everybody reading this, for everybody reading this, and also guys, I have finished few of the annuals. I finished Aquarius, of course. I finished Scorpio, and I finished Aries. So you can order it because for now, as you can see it on the side, the prices are still pre-order prices, but I'm switching this very soon. Today we'll try to get 2 more signs. What I'm trying to do right now, I'm trying to do in December and their annual at the same time, so that way if people want, they can order it as well. So I'm not so sure what signs to do today. Any suggestions? Let's have a vote. Look at that. We have the World card coming out. So guys, collectively we are moving into the next level. So whatever happened. Whatever lessons we had, it was done for a reason. So I guess let's hope. So let's see, what do we get here? Look at that. We are getting the King of Wands reversed. So this is the new stage. We have to learn how to be royal, how to be a leader, and kind of like push other things around. And yes, David, this could be a little bit about the Sagi as well, kind of like having this kind of flavor. And there's like these beautiful salamanders which I collected when I was a child, to the horror of my mother, because look at how pretty fingers he has. So he's this way. So just because he sits here so quietly, he can move very fast, because all kings go back to the emperor. So do not tick this person off. Or maybe this is us, that something is brewing. And look at this, the 7 of Pentacles. We kind of got to a certain level. Okay, Scorpio, Pisces, Aries, Aquarius. Aquarius is done already. Scorpio is done already. I was thinking Pisces as well. And who else? I think in from the orders that I have, what I really should be doing is Sagittarius, because I have lots of orders. And I'm trying to think, and think Taurus. And I think Taurus possibly is going to be there as well. So here we are talking about that crossroads in our life. Maybe something about our work. Maybe something that we need to figure out how to go further, right? Because you see, at one point he's like, ugh, I just cannot deal with this. Well, he's saying, you know what? I can see that. Maybe it's just a foggy day, but I should kind of continue with this. Then here we are talking about building our walls, right? And again, it's saying, wait a minute, this is a scorched earth, because pentacles are pentacles after all. Kind of like it's not everything in money. So you see, it's maybe like we are thinking about all this Black Friday and how much money to spend and who are the people we want to let in our lives. I'm pretty sure over here quite a few of us are thinking, relationships, forget this. This is just too hard. But then, okay, well, maybe I can still try it once more. Because look at this, the soulmate card is kind of like staying in the past. Remember how we had in the 10 of Cups, we had this motive of the Venus rising here showing up. And it is reversed. It's again saying, just like the Empress card, remember, you have to look at symbols in the cards. It's really, really important. And things are kind of like moving forward, but maybe somebody has been left in the past. Maybe there are issues that happened that didn't happen, right? So I would say some of us here are suffering from a breakup. Oh my gosh, Elizabeth, Mercury going retrograde. Let me not even start about it. I had a flat tire. My computer, which collapsed twice this year already, each time in Mercury pre-retrograde, collapsed again. This is the 3rd hard drive. But luckily, the 2nd time I got smarter and I had a backup. Yay. But still, it was like $225 to replace it. Then, what else happened? Yeah, then my dad had the issues with his driver's license. We are trying to recoup that back. So, and this is just before the start. So, it's going to be really interesting. So then what is crowning us? And then again, look at this, the 10 of Pentacles. Oh my gosh. We people here are maybe having issues with the family. So I don't know, was it a bad Thanksgiving? You had somebody in a Thanksgiving dinner who was talking a whole bunch of like nonsense. And you're like, oh no, like, I mean, I'm going there to kind of like cheer myself up, be with my family. And yet I'm hearing this speech, because look at this. Look at how much they have in common. Like, right? It feels like back is being turned. It feels like that we need to kind of get approval from somebody. It's like, you know what? I don't need approval from you. But at the same time, we are kind of biding our time over something. So this is still very indefinite, but look at how many pentacles are coming out. So we'll be left out in a cold by a few people maybe who made a promise, or at the very least by one. 5 of Pentacles is always talking about this instability. This is about to happen, but it's good news is that things are starting to move. So plan your work, guys. Elizabeth, oh my freaking thing, you poor thing, moving is not the greatest thing in Mercury thingy. I admire you. Just make sure that, you kind of dot all your I's and cross all your T's. Let me see all the cards, because now this is becoming confusing. So there it is, the Knight of Swords. I love this knight, but this knight in this stage is like furious. And I think what I see here, somebody maybe promised something to us, maybe a loan, maybe something in a family that happened, maybe something happened at work and it's not going to happen. They're going to let us down. And we will tell them about it. So be very careful. Remember the karma card I was telling about? You cannot jump off this wheel if you strike back. You literally have to absorb the truth, find the truth, but not to speak back. That's what this card says, because now, as it is right now, it's telling me it's going to be fire and fury unleashed on somebody. So take your Zantac and anything that you need to take this week is going to be weird. But the good news, they might come out, or somebody can come back to us with this magician and be our savior and actually create something for us that works. So still, and see, this is the thing. You do this, you have this verbal diarrhea, not going to happen. You don't, somebody comes to help. So isn't this kind of, do not strike back? This is what this card says. How many times I have to tell you when I have the readings and people say, oh, this is what happened. But we have this, it's normal, we are humans, we have this like knee-jerk reaction that happens, right? And somebody hurts us, oh, you this and this and this, and then we kind of hurt each other back. And then words hurt, words stay, you cannot erase them, right? Rebuilding is really hard when you're not starting even from zero. You're like starting somewhere from the center of the earth, how like, I mean, deep hole it is. So by just taking this truth and saying, oh, it happened, F it, right? It happened. Shit happens. Then somebody will see that and say, you see, this is like somebody who is there to pick you up, to create you into something. So things will start to evolve. And boy, will they ever evolve. There is a new start. The very thing, if you pass this lesson, it's going to help us soar. Especially if you guys are a fire sign or if you are a Scorpio. That's going to be even more potent in this situation. So this is a new beginning. Something will be happening out. Jill, nice try. And there is this like 10 of stuff. This is like, I guess, a second thing for those of you. Look at this. I think there are two choices. I think both of them, and that's why we have this duality. Oh my gosh, this also makes sense. It also makes sense. Okay. So it is up to us to choose. Some of us are going to choose hell, and we are going to end up being beaten. Look at this, like, I mean, the eclipse of the sun, the complete darkness, somebody really enjoying. This is not even backstabbing. You cannot say this was a backstabbing. This was like, hey, I'll show you. So it's going to be full frontal, basically, over here. For those of us who managed to do that, and it's going to be really hard to remember it in a moment, there is a next stage. Going to the next stage. And even though this person is not fully ideal, even though this person can be sort of like, this is a showing the mythology of a pen, right? It definitely, it shows the Aries head over here, right? And the dove, extension of a piece. Somebody will be watching you. Maybe, you know, I have a friend who I worked with a long time ago. That's how we met. And we had this contract. When the contract finished, she went on, new airport was opening in Toronto. So she went to get a job. I think she was applying for customer service manager. And she says, oh my gosh, that was such a weird interview. This woman was like so rude. And she was blasting me. And she said, well, I don't really know what to do. She's Libra, so I guess she had her composure. If that was me, they would hear every little bit of this. And she says, guess what? They called me that I got a job, and they were doing this purposely on people because the customer service is like people basically blast them and do it, and they want to see if somebody's composed enough to do that. So, see, I learned a lesson. So this is showing this duality, what's going to happen. And somebody in this duality can be somebody who is overseas. It could be, see, there is this checkerboard sort of hidden over here. Choose between the good and evil. I don't think this is so much about two people on the stage. And look at that. These people are over here watching you. What will you do? Will you do the right thing? And if you do, then this king that is not really active is becoming queen. So it's softer approach, nicer approach, a nicely ruled approach. So I think that's what I have here for today. So I'm open to any questions, guys. Nature Explorer, good luck with them, especially during Mercury retrograde. I have no problem during Mercury retrograde, ever. But then again, I am air sign. Air signs generally have more issues before the retrograde starts than fire signs have issue in the beginning of the retrograde, the first week. The second week would be the earth signs, and the last week would be the water signs. So that's how it works. So it's a pretty cool deck. What do you guys think? And she also did that other deck. Let me see if I can find it. The deck that I started with, which is also borderless. I like the fact that it's borderless. It is actually good quality, and it's actually very inexpensive, the entire kit. Honestly, if you are into tarot, if you want to learn tarot, start with this. Really start with this, because I admire the fact that she wrote this well. And I can actually probably read it to you. Here, let me read it to you, The Magician. So just that way you can actually see how she talks about it. So it says this. There are two sides. She says this side. A magician stands barefoot upon a stone terrace, his right hand holding a candle that burns at both ends. Held vertically, this is a physical impossibility, as fire only burns upward. But magic isn't constrained by such details. His left hand points to the ground, signifying the creed of ceremonial magic, as above, so below. On the table before him lie the four tools of the minor arcana: sword, chalice, wand, and pentacle. The stone table itself appears to have no legs. It floats before the magician is as if supposed by his will alone. Oh, I didn't notice this before. I thought it was standing over here. The magician exudes an air of calm power, as the firmness of his stance and gestures proclaim his confidence. Above the magician's head floats a luminous lemniscate, designed for infinity. In the sky behind him, a comet shoots through the Orion constellation. So when you get this side in reading, magic is the power to change reality by will. The magician channels the natural forces of magic that are around us all the time. He isn't necessarily more personally magical than anyone else, but he has dedicated himself to honing his powers and owning his skills. He believes in his magic, and it is this belief that makes magic possible. This card says that you have all you need to make any desired changes in your life. To see, in our case, it is in our environment. Somebody who has all abilities to make changes in our life or excel any undertaking will actually be here for us this week. But you must believe to make it real. And the opposite side, she says, the magician faces the sunset in communion with the power of night meeting day. He acknowledges the darkness and the light both within and without. In the shadows, the back of his robe is not red but purple, the color of the seventh chakra, the energetic seat of wisdom and enlightenment. The robe bears the pattern of the Kabbalistic tree of life. Behind the magician, a single lily pushes its way upward between the paving stones. When you get this side in the reading, this is a threshold time for your endeavor, a time when new creation is trying to push through. Deepen and pull your energy inward. One of the tenets of magic is keep silent. If you find your endeavors are stalling or not progressing at the pace you wish, move into the silent, dark space within you and focus. Magic requires concentration and freedom from distractions. The power is there, but you must bring it forth yourself. Bye, ciao. So guys, I hope you like these cards, and this is also her deck, which I find spectacular. For example, look at this Eight of Earth, which basically talks about working together and paying attention to the details. It's like so lovely, illustrated with a Siamese cat and her offspring trying to take them out and teaching them things. So I think she has another deck which I'm going to actually order. You see the lovers in this deck. She called the Judgment card Good Kitty. And I don't know, maybe I should go back to this deck. For a while I was having it, then you see the tower, the kitty cats were playing, and there's a mess right now. And I love this card, Cat Mesmerized, with different possibilities, because every single bubble reflects world, but the moment when you touch it, it's gone. So lots of, and I don't know, talking about which card I like, if you look at my header, both of my Facebook and on my YouTube, this is the card that is left, right, and center. And yeah, there's this little kitty hoping to be a lion, but it's actually the other way around. In Kabbalah, you first have to learn the strengths. Then this card is 17, so it kind of has few preparations. You have to first learn to be a magician. Then you have to learn how to be the chariot, to kind of face your own demons. Then you have to regain the strength of a lion, because it's innate. And generally in the regular deck, it shows the 8-pointed star because of that reason. And then it has like 7 around stars around it, because it talks about dealing with your own chakras. Only then you can go on the path to become a star and to kind of like illuminate the path for the others. So thank you, everybody. I hope this was like a lovely hour. And just quickly, give me any questions that you have. I will try to answer. And please order your pre-order your teroscopes. As I said, few of them are done. 3 of them are done. And I'm trying to do the best I can, hoping and aiming for the 4th. But I have to go and spend at least 1 day a week with my dad. Sabrina, doesn't matter if you missed it. It's going to be uploaded so you can see it. So the annuals are about 1 hour and 45 minutes. So it takes me about 4 hours to do that, because I need to edit, I need to put these things together, and then I need to upload. And then I do the monthly December, which I'm going back to my old, basically, recipe, and everybody liked that recipe. So like that one takes another 3 hours. And then I have to do my own readings. I have to do my coaching. So as you can see, it's lots of work. Okay, so any questions, guys? Any questions? I'm here to answer any questions. A week for getting some answers. Path Traveler, to summarize, for those of us here, we will really have some issues with left, right, and center, what is kind of like daily routine in our life. It can talk about the job, or it can be talking about positioning ourselves around. Thank you, Chrissy, so much, and thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate all your comments. How much is the annual personal? It is, like, as you can see on the screen, $19.95, and this is a pre-order. It will go to $29.95, and all signs are $39.95 at this stage. I think it's going to go to $60. Okay, thank you, Natural Explorer. This is so sweet. Aries dealing with a Scorpio. Oh my gosh, reconcile last night. But just make sure when you reconcile that, you know, you kind of figure out what was wrong, and you never look it back. Once kind of it's being to the surface, this is the Judgment card, right? That you get to this judgment, and then you kind of like move things around. Hi from Bulgaria. How do I say your name? Tanya Alexandrova, I guess. I mean, I used to be able to read Cyrillic letters because I come from Croatia. So, and my parents lived right next to the Russian consulate. Hi, Glitter Sunflower, UK. Today looks, will your move be okay? Okay, I'm going to answer that question, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, will her move be okay? Because this is a biggie. This is a really, really biggie. Tree of Fire. Yeah, set your goals. Make sure you know what you want. Make sure you're looking at this light. You're reading your contract. You kind of like set your elements, because look, she's standing on something that has been agreed. So just make sure that, as I said, all the I's are dotted and all T's are crossed, and you're going to be fine. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. Love you, love you, love you. Zeph is still here, and until Saturday, and I think I'm going to keep this spot for us to kind of like get in the future together, and just keep coming. That is at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is very early for California, sorry, but I mean, I have lots of people from Australia who were writing to me that they want to kind of like participate, so this is the only time. And then on Sunday, people go to church. It's a family day, so it's hard to connect. Thank you so much for everybody. I really appreciate for everybody who was helping being a moderator. As you can see, this crowd is like amazing. So it will be so much fun that we can get together somewhere one day. Love you. Next week, I'm going to continue with the school then. All the best. Have a great and wonderful weekend. And to my American friends, happy Thanksgiving. Love ya.